Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of Intuitive Angling. And man, I really appreciate you guys swinging by the channel and hanging out with me a little bit on the day's video. Because today, guys, I have to do a video like this about once every 2 months where I just can't stand it because the trolls come out of the woodwork and there's so many dudes out there that think they know way more about bass fishing than they actually know. So I'm going to give them a reality check here, sort of put them in their place a little bit. Because I tell you what, guys, there are a lot of armchair bass anglers out there that they just, like I said, they just think they're the balls. They just think for some reason they just mysteriously know everything about bass fishing, and anyone that, you know, gives an opinion contrary to theirs, that they're completely wrong. And that is what these YouTube channel, bass fishing channels are. They're opinion channels. So if you can't deal with having an opinion without insulting somebody, probably not a good idea to watch the YouTube videos that do that. But anyway, guys, I want to address this today. I want to talk specifically, pointedly to those dudes out there, and you know who you are, that think you know more about bass fishing than what you actually do. And also, guys, one of the favorite things about my YouTube videos here that the haters love to jack with me on is the daily housekeeping tips. A lot of these dudes out there that are trolls on the channel, they make fun of it, that I talk about, you know, my links and all that type of stuff. But guys, the reality, YouTube, if I couldn't do that, I wouldn't have a YouTube channel. So I appreciate all you dudes out there that understand that that's just part of the deal here, and you have to sort of deal with that. And really appreciate the guys that, you know, support the channel with that. And if you're one of the guys out there that have no patience for plugs and that type of stuff, maybe you can watch Netflix or something where you don't have it on there. So that's just the way YouTube is here. Okay, guys, it depends on the video that I'm doing, some more than others, but most every video I do is an opinion video. It doesn't have to, it can be my opinion on jig fishing or jerkbait fishing or tournaments or the anti-live scope or whatever I'm talking about, tournaments, you know, tournament critiques. And inevitably I'm going to guess, I put it at about probably, you know, 15, maybe 20% of the anglers out there that really think they know a lot more about bass fishing than what they do. They're not as smart about fishing as what they think they are. They don't know as much about fishing as what they think they do. So this video is sort of addressed to there. Now, when I do a YouTube video, I'm not speaking for other creators out there, guys. I am a professional bass fisherman. You know, I'm almost 64 years old. I don't fish, you know, full time on the circuit like I used to, but I did for over 30 years. I still fish here regionally, Toyota Series, all that type of stuff. So when I do a YouTube video, my videos are based upon real world, actual experience that I have experienced myself, that I'm relating to you about this. Most of these dudes out there that get on and are trolling channels like myself or are opinionated, they don't have that dirt time. The dirt time they have is watching YouTube videos or, you know, just watching fishing shows or reading articles. Very few of them have decades and decades and decades of experience in bass fishing, yet they feel like they know more than somebody like myself or other pros that have literally been doing this for 50 years and have spent thousands of days on the water. Guys, since about 1980, I have averaged between 100 to 200 days a year on the water for over 45 years. So calculate how many hours of fishing that is over the past 45 yeast. And if you think that you've got more experience than that can rebut some of the stuff that I have, well, you know, I just don't believe it. Because here's the thing about it. It's like experience in bass fishing. I'm not saying that you can't learn something from everybody, guys, because I've learned techniques and I've learned this and that from people that don't have much fishing experience. They've used their ingenuity and creativity, you know, to teach me stuff. I'm not closed off from getting information and learning about bass fishing from whoever I can. It doesn't matter what it is. But the thing about it is when you have an opinion on any particular topic in bass fishing, you have to be able to back that opinion up by experience to have any legitimacy to it. It's like when you talk about bass movement and behavior, or I'm talking about, you know, the damages that live scope is doing to fishing, or if I'm talking about different type of techniques or whatever out there, I'm just not pulling this out of my butt and talking about it. This is something that I have experienced and witnessed personally for decades and decades, and along with the peer group that I have, and I'm relaying that information to you. So the information that you get here on intuitive angling is real information. It's not some fake theoretical thing that somebody has stole off another YouTube channel. It is something that, guys, that really happened to me, and I can back that up with it. There are so many people out there, and there's so many YouTubers out there that the information that they get is simply, they're relaying information that they've heard. They're regurgitating information. This is super prevalent on the YouTube genre, guys. There's really, in my opinion, from what I can see out there, there's about probably 25 or 30% of the bass fishing YouTube channels out there are legitimate information that comes from experts. The other, 65 or 75% of the bass fishing YouTubers out there, they are regurgitating information. They're regurgitating content. They take videos, like they go onto my channel and they see a video that I've done from my own experience, and then they tweak it and modify it, and they use basically the same information. Some people disguise it better than others, but I can see it from a mile away when they do that, because it's basically, they're just copying, successful material. And that's one aspect of it. But the thing that really sort of irritates me a little bit is when I give somebody an opinion on this channel about whatever it may be, it doesn't matter what it is, the opinion that I give on this channel is based upon the reality that I have experienced myself through reproducible results, not just one or two times. I'm talking about reproducible results. When I talk about like the quality or the degradation of a fishery, I'm talking about something that I've experienced over decades, decades and decades and hundreds and thousands of days on the water. I'm not just regurgitating some information. I have witnessed this myself. And when somebody comes on there and says, Randy, you're full of crap, you don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, I do know what I'm talking about. I am the first to admit, I don't know everything about bass fishing. I'm a student like everybody else is, but I do know what I know. I mean, I know what I know to be true and to be factual. And a lot of people out there don't. They think they know a lot more than what they do. So when you talk about stuff like bass movement behavior, environmental issues, conservation issues, the impact tournaments have on our bass mood and behavior, how bass are affected by different things, what sustainability looks like in the sport, this is something that I have literally spent my life studying. And I'm just not, like I said, just pulling this out of thin air and just making some wild statement out there. So my message is to the trolls and the haters out there, and the people that think they know more than what you know, and the armchair bass anglers out there, is after you fished about 500 bass tournaments like myself and about 400 national professional tournaments, and have spent tens of thousands of days on the water and done this for a living for 35 years, until you have actually went through that and experienced that, you can pretty much just take a seat when it comes to smart ass comments, because you're in no position to do that. And I really appreciate the people that can see through that, and I appreciate the people that that use the information that I provide, whatever it may be, because my whole goal here, guys, on this channel is to help people catch more fish through the integrity and the real thing of what bass fishing is. I am here to make you a better angler that is going to help you on all levels through traditional, real bass fishing techniques, not artificial video game bullshit. This is not the channel for you to do that. If you want to take place in an activity that is actively destroying our sport, and you want to get behind something that's actually destroying our sport, there's plenty of other 20-year-old flat brimming or long-haired YouTubers out there that can show you how just to stare down at a video game screen if you think that's the way to fish. But this isn't one of them here. I'm going to give you some real world information, hardcore bass fishing information that took decades and decades and decades to learn. So anyway, like I said, those dudes out there, it's like, why are these guys watching the channel? It's like, if it's such a miserable experience for them to come on intuitive angling and it gets their blood pressure up and they're all pissed off at me about it, nobody's twisting their arm to watch this channel, man. There's not. There's enough people out there that, you know, really like the content here. And guys, I appreciate it, man. If you're one of those dudes out there that likes the content and likes the fact that I'm a little bit rough around the edges and I don't sugarcoat things, I'm going to give you an opinion how I really feel about it, then this is the channel for you, man. It is. But I just don't have any patience, man, for the people, just the smart ass know-it-alls out there. And I'm not talking about somebody that's opinionated, because I respect an opinion, but I respect an opinion when it is done with an intelligent, you know, calm, critical thinking delivery. I don't respect a smart ass comment for just the point of being smart ass. And like I said, those comments get deleted, you know, every time. They're not going to use this format of mine to spread misinformation and smart ass comments. So like I said, guys, I got to do a video like this about every 2 months to sort of get everybody in line a little bit with that, or get the you know, the people that can't play well with others back in line a little bit. But overall, guys, for all the other 85% of you dudes out there, man, thank you very much for your support. I really appreciate it. My family appreciates it. You know, we all appreciate it, and I don't take it for granted at all. And I'll continue giving you all my, you know, my experience. I'll give you guys my opinions based upon my experience. And I can assure you one thing, guys, the information you get here on Intuitive Angling is coming from my own personal experience. The blood, sweat, and tears that I've spent 45 years fishing all over the country, being away from my family and my home to learn, I'm sharing that with you guys. And for all you dudes out there that think you know a lot about fishing, that have not done that or been there or experienced that, it's probably time for you just to take a seat, chill out a little bit, and, you know, go watch some, like I said, some movie on Netflix if you don't like the channel here. But for everybody else, you know, thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate that, and we'll talk later.